All right, so we're going to get actually into the approach. How do we actually shift left? How do we get to a point where we can do all the activities that we want to be able to do in 2 weeks? So, shift left planning, all right? So here's the thing. If you're not doing these things, you're making your life really hard in 2 weeks, all right? So, pre-planning, the QAs should be really talking about the next sprint. We should be looking at feature files if you guys happen to be doing BDD or user stories. You should be checking each of the user stories in terms of the acceptance criteria, and you should also be checking to see what you're actually going to automate. All right? That should happen before the actual sprint that you're working in. All right? When you get to the grooming sessions with your team, you should be asking the question, what do I need? Okay? So I've got some names in there, I've got some roles in there, I've got all these things in there. What you need to know is technology, right? I've got Sean and Chad in there, and those are technology people that work for me. But the point is, there should be somebody within your team, your product team, whether it's a QA person, whether it's an architect, whether it's a developer, that should be able to help give you guidance on technology, right? As you formulate your strategy. You should have somebody that understands the test data. I put the BSAs in there. You know why I put the BSAs in there? Because if they didn't give you the information about the data, the requirement, or the user story, or the acceptance criteria, it's not done. Don't accept it. Send it back. They should have that in there, right? End to end, okay? It's no longer acceptable for us to be focused on our user story and not see the big picture. Because in the Agile world, if you're not looking at the big picture as part of a team, then you're not actually looking at testing it the right way and developing the right strategy. All right? So your partners on the product team, the BAs, the QAs, the developers, the product owners, they're all part of that team. They should all be pitching in to understand the end-to-end concept of what it is that you're trying to deliver. Right? And when you get to the point where you're doing that grooming session, you should walk out of that grooming session with an understanding of how you're going to test it. Strategy. Boom. I know exactly, because I got all of these answers from the people that I needed it from. And then you're going to have a high-level estimate. Right? Once you've got all of that, you're going to go into the sprint planning. You're going to take a look at each of the stories. You're going to explain your strategy. How many people in a sprint planning meeting get the opportunity to explain their test strategy to the team? All right? That is a must-have. It must be part of that process. Okay? Detailed estimate. So as the development teams are talking to you about, hey, this is how we're going to design it, this is how we're going to code it, you should be able to take that high-level estimate, you should be able to turn it into detail-level estimate, right? How many people in this room actually, when they're participating in a sprint planning meeting, actually get to do a risk assessment right there with the team when they're doing the planning? Right? That should absolutely be happening every time. And how do you think you can do that? Hey, here's a big wheel with 31 things on it that can help you do that. And you know what? Everybody loves that wheel. Okay? Questions. Anytime that you have any sort of questions, you got to be able to ask those questions, get answers for them, right? So this is all pre-sprint, right? This is how you get to a point where you really can get your strategy, your needs met before you even actually start day one.